All right, welcome everyone to the May 13th school board meeting. If you would, let's stand and do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now a moment of silence. Amen. All right, Mr. Martin.
All right. We are going to go off script a little bit. We have some special visitors today. We have Dr. Mike Hernandez from AAEA. We have Mr. Mertens from AAEA. We have Lisa Hawkesfellow from Arkansas Association of Career Technical and Education Administrators here. And they have a recognition to get out.
All right.
Face this way or
Right, there's perfect. You're on camera.
So, good evening, members of the board and Key Ridge faculty and staff. My name is Dr. Mike Hernandez. I'm the executive director of the Arkansas Association of Educational Administrators. And we're here today to present an award. And so we're here to present the Arkansas Association Career and Technical Education Administrator of the Year Award. And this award is given out yearly to what is identified by our state delegation of members that say this is the best career technical administrator in the state of Arkansas. And so we had a number of applications, and I know Ms. Hawkesfellow will talk a little bit about that. But we're here to present this to Ms. Ann Markfield. I do want to read a little bit about what a few people that worked on this said about her. So it says, Ann Markfield is a force of service, excellence, and kind joy. She has used that to inspire others, elevate programs, schools, and the entire school brands. She has led the way to celebrate career and technical education in the state of Arkansas for many years. And so that was one of her coworkers, or past coworkers, that said that about her. So we're very excited to present this award, and I'll let you say anything that you want to.
So, Ann, we're so thankful to have you in CTE, and we're so thankful to give you this award. So, please come on up and accept your award.
Nope, say that.
He's old.
I know I was going to say that.
Did you hear her? I stood up.
Here, I'll make my water because it's pretty bright.
Okay.
Let's give Ann's family, and then we'll get the school board.
Dad? My dad was a CTE teacher.
Yeah, he's on this.
Okay.
Part of the city student.
All right, girls, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get to the school board.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I got to stand by Ann. Can I stand by Ann? Yes. I'm standing by Ann. I want to be close to the award.
Okay. All right, is everyone ready? All right. Thank you. One more. That's awesome. Thank you.
List of stuff to do today. You're not gonna have anything. You're gonna be fine. But one day. That's great.
You want us to stay?
Well, very much congratulations, Ann. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
And I didn't last week, I just.
There you go. Thank you.
It's not a lie if you don't know, right?
No, I didn't know. I saw the girl and I was like, oh no, this is bad.
All right, Mr. Martin.
All right, first on our agenda is our consent agenda. Are there any questions about the consent agenda?
I don't think so.
Okay, with that, I'd like to make the recommendation that the consent agenda, financial report, and board minutes of the regular board meeting held on April 8, 2024 be approved as submitted.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
All right. Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Second by Sarah.
Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Thanks. I thought you were like looking at me like, who's it? And I was like,
I was like, I can say it again.
All right, up next, we have student achievement success. It is the high school's going to get here, Mr. Ogden. It's going to talk about ACT scores and important events coming up this week.
So I'm giving you guys an invitation. I think you guys have most of
thank
this
you.
stuff electronically. Well, Ms. Meeks has given you
Thank you.
kind of our graduation timeline. Again, I think I sent this to you. Did this? Can we start with our ACT?
I just didn't want to have that up there.
Yeah, sure. So we have our scheduled faculty meetings that usually happen on the same night that we have our board meeting. So we got to deliver this to our staff today, which was really exciting that we get to celebrate some things. And I thought it was really cool that we have made a large jump in our ACT scores. If you'll look and notice, we've made about a 1-point jump across the board, but also within our composite score. Mr. Martin, if you go to the next slide, you'll see kind of a little bit better visual of it. But basically, we're beating the state average across the board now, which is really good for us, really good for our students. But I think more importantly, some things to think about are that this moves a lot of our student body from an 18 to a 19. And that is big for some of our families because what it does is it puts them in the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery,
Okay.
and gives them the ability to have financial aid and provide them with resources they normally wouldn't have. So super cool for our students, gives them access to things they normally wouldn't have access to. Ms. Meeks, do you want to talk real quick on kind of the value of what they get as far as the
Yeah.
scholarship goes?
So whenever you have a 19th as your minimum score, your super score, anything like that, you actually qualify for the Arkansas Challenge Scholarship, which actually at a 4-year school gives you $14,000 in your pocket over the course of 4 years. You go to a 2-year school, it's a $4,000 scholarship. That's huge for our families. So we're really proud of the students and the teachers that put in all the hard work for this.
That's great.
So again, just really excited for our school to see us moving in the right direction, and looking forward for that for years to come.
That's great. Thanks, guys.
Next up is, it's that time of year, right? We are slowly trying to come into the runway and land the plane, and you can see some of our events have already taken place. I know most of you guys knew some of these that had happened, but something to point out is our senior breakfast has already happened. Our culinary department did a phenomenal job, which again, I don't know if you guys see it or not, but they are in the background of a lot of our events. Even some of the small events we have in our hospitality room, all the way down to graduation day. We're going to have like grab and go cups for you guys when you get there. But just they've done a really good job, and it is feels highly student led, and it's really cool to see. So kudos to them. We had a 3D ceremony following our senior breakfast, where we got to hand out to our seniors a lot of their graduation accomplishments. So some of their cords, stoles, medals, CTE completer medals. So really cool and exciting for students to get to wear that or to receive that. And moving forward into our scholarship night is where they actually get to wear some of that. So we have our scholarship night coming up this Thursday. It will be at 6 p.m. You guys are more than welcome to attend. It is by invitation only as far as our students go, but it's a really exciting time to celebrate not only the scholarships they're receiving from colleges, but also local scholarships within the community as well. So really excited for that. We also have, obviously after that, we have following graduation, which will be on Saturday at 2 o'clock. We would love to have you guys there at 1:30, just so we can kind of briefly talk about what that looks like on the stage for us. But like I said, we'll have kind of grab and go for us to make it through the 30 minutes until we start. Any questions?
That's great. Thanks.
No, it's great.
Thank you guys.
All right, up next, we go into our action items, and we have school board meeting dates for the that's supposed to be 24-25 school year. My apologies. For the 24-25 school year. I did correct it. Okay, sorry, it's right.
We're good. We're good on ours, yeah. Go for it.
We are, traditionally, we have done the second Monday of every month. That is the same except for July. In July, I would like to do the third Monday of the month, just to make it the 15th, because that's the 4th of July before we'll have a lot of staff and hopefully us not here that
Right.
week, so that we can do that. Are there any questions on that? Okay.
Okay.
With that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve the 24-25 school year board of directors meeting dates as presented.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion by Mindy,
Second.
second by Ryan. All in favor? All opposed? All right.
Up next is our MOU with our SROs last year. This year we went to 5 SROs. We would like to continue that. I believe it is a 3% increase, or about $8,000, brings up to, I believe, $283,000 and everything. Our community is very appreciative of us having SROs on campus, and I know our faculty, staff, and parents are as well. So are there any questions? Contract's exactly the same, 500 hours of event coverage or overtime coverage built into it as well. That's about what we use every year. It's quite a bit when you start adding everything up and everything. So that's the.
Okay. All right, any questions? All
With
right.
that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve the SRO contract with the City of Pea Ridge for the 24-25 school year.
All right, have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion as presented.
All right, Ryan, motion, second.
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right.
Up next is school choice. This year we have 63 applicants, which is down from previous years. Usually we're in the mid-80s. We have room for everyone. I believe I shared with y'all the commissioner's memo from either last week or the week before, where they redefined capacity. And even with, if y'all do not approve the third and sixth grade position that we'll be doing later on, we still have room. We're just at that cusp. So we have 63, we'll list here 63 applications. When we do the ones who are currently in the district already, and ones that are kids that are also moving out, it's a net gain of 56 kids. So it's well below our normal, but I think traffic is starting to have a little bit to do with that.
Sure.
Coming into Pea Ridge is not as convenient as it used to be.
Yeah. Agreed.
Are there any questions?
We just need to make sure that if any of them play sports, that we get all the paperwork turned in appropriately, so we don't have anybody not qualified.
Yes, ma'am, that's why we're in May. I believe they
Okay.
have to have everything turned in by July 1.
Right.
And that gives them more time to do that, because I believe July 1 is
Yep.
it's not our date, it's a very hard date.
Yep. Yep.
So quick, so with the new definition of capacity, like
not that we don't want to take them, but we don't have an option to not. Legally,
Correct.
we have to.
Correct.
Correct, the new definition is taking someone has to make you go over standards, and we're not at that point.
All right. Any other questions?
With that, I would like to make the recommendation that we approve the school choice applications for the 24-25 school year as presented.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
All right. Sarah, second.
I'll second.
Mindy, second. All in favor? None opposed.
All right, up next, we have board-to-board transfers. We have one request to transfer out for the remainder of this year. And, so with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the board-to-board transfers as presented.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? I'll motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ryan, second. All in favor? None opposed.
Now it's purchasing time. Every year at this time, we bring a lot of requests for purchasing. The first request is a school bus purchase. This is a 41-passenger bus that will be used to open up a third special education route. It is identical to the buses that we have purchased in the past, except for we're specking out a higher weight range of a lift because we're having students with the motorized wheelchairs, and then they have some weight to them and everything. We're going to pay for this not out of general operating, but out of
Special ed catastrophic.
Special ed catastrophic. Okay.
so it does not affect our general
Operating budget.
operating budget at all.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we purchase a school bus from Thomasville Buses in the amount of, give me just a second, $137,674.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Sarah, motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. All in favor? Any opposed?
Up next, we have furniture purchase. There are actually 3 bids here. The first one, a few years ago, we started changing out 5 or 6 classrooms at a time at the junior high. It's our oldest building. To continue that process, that comes in at $55,074.17. It's furniture identical to what we've been purchasing. The only thing is, with everything else, it's gone up a little bit in price and everything. The second bid is for 6 cafeteria tables to replace a few at the middle school for a cost of $26,795. And the third request is where the old superintendent's office used to be, on the east end of the junior high, replacing the furniture in there and taking that furniture and repurposing it.
Easy for you to say.
And throughout the district, and it comes at a cost of $37,085.18, which brings the total furniture request to $118,954.18. Element Furniture, they're part of Tim's Taps, so it's part of what we're purchasing.
Right. All right. Any questions? All right.
All right, with that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve furniture from L&M Office Furniture in the amount of $118,954.18.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
All right. Motion by Sarah.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. All in favor?
All right.
None opposed.
Our next 2 proposals are for parking lot and pavement improvements. The first one is for the junior high to reseal and stripe the junior high parking lot and to fix the craters that happened when it got really cold from the freezing underneath, in the car ride line. And that comes at a cost of $47,129.14.
How far does that go? Does that turn the corner and go towards the football field?
No, it would stop right there. We did it in phases.
Okay.
This year phase 1, next year phase 2, phase 3. And so just to be as cost effective as we can.
Just literally what's in front of the building?
Just in front of the building, okay.
Okay.
Right now, we have 3 spots in front of the building that are failing.
Yeah.
Where it's being
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And so it's cutting and repairing those
Gotcha.
as well. And then
Okay. I just didn't know where the junior high parking lot ended, because you turn the corner and it looks like it still goes.
Does it ever really?
Does it ever really end? Doesn't seem like it does. All right. Any other questions?
Okay. With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the junior high paving project from Pavement Project in the amount of $47,129.14.
All right, we have a motion, or a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Ryan, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Sarah. All in favor? None opposed.
Our next paving project is at the corner of Weston and McCullough to increase capacity of our car rider line. What we're working on is partnering with the city to get our traffic for the first and second grade car rider line off of Weston Street to help traffic flow. With this, what I'm recommending to do is we're just paying for the top surface of it. The city is going to put in the base and the dirt work part of, so we can split the project together because it benefits them as well.
And this will take it out where?
It will still come out at the corner of McCullough and Weston, but what we're going to do is we're going to have two lanes going in and one lane coming out so that we can stack more cars on our property.
Got it.
Instead of stacking them in the turn lanes, because at the corner of Hazelton and we're backing up past Hazelton
Yes.
and Weston, and it's causing a safety issue for the cars
That are-
being able to go across. I think they've had more than one or two little fender benders there.
Yep.
I see it, John.
There it is. Thanks.
Yep.
All right.
We will be paying for the
Sure.
basically the blacktop only. The city's going to pitch in for the dirt work and base.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, with that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve the bid through PaveCon in the amount of $31,323.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mindy. I'll second. Any other questions? Yep. Ryan, you got a question?
Nope.
Okay. All in favor?
Here's open.
All right. None opposed.
The next one sounds like it's a bad thing, but it's not. It's because we're growing and providing more services for our students. It's discontinuing our membership with the Guide Center Co-op for CTE services. At our last board meeting, y'all approved the CTE director and / communications director. This person will help lead the charge, of course, with Ms. Markfeld and Ms. Tabor and Mr. Ogden, and making sure that we're providing the very best we can for our kids and everything. And so with that, we technically have to have a recommendation and approval from y'all to discontinue service from that co-op. Guide Center Co-op, Ms. Turner is 100% supportive of it, and she's actually excited for us so that we can continue to grow.
Okay. Any questions? All right.
With that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we discontinue membership with the Guide Center Co-op for CTE services.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Sarah, motion. Second? I'll second. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
Next on the agenda is out-of-state trips. Coach Craig has reached out to coaches, and we have 3 out-of-state trips we're wanting approval for. For girls basketball, they're traveling to Pittsburgh, Kansas for Pitt State on June 12 through 14. And girls basketball will travel to Joplin to Southern State. It's Missouri Southern State on June 18 through 20. And for boys basketball for Pitt State and Pittsburgh, Kansas on the 31st.
Okay. Any questions? All right.
All right, with that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we approve the out-of-state trips as presented.
All right. I have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mindy.
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. All in favor? None opposed.
All right, next on the agenda is our MOU with NWAC. We renew this every year. This is so our kids can have, opportunity to take the current credit. I think if you were at our 3 ceremony, we had a lot of kids that stood up, for college credit and everything, so it's a really good thing. The only thing is, it's going up $5 a class, and that's okay. But other than that, everything's exactly the same.
Okay.
Who's that? remarkable that there were 3 of them that are graduating with their associates.
Associates, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
That was awesome.
Yes, sir. And the Larsons aren't here, because I think their child's one.
She did, she graduated today. Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, so yeah, it's a good thing, an opportunity for our kids to, the value, just the financial
Oh,
value
yeah.
of being able to get those classes done in high school compared to paying full tuition rates.
Oh, yeah.
outside is remarkable.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the MOU with MWAC to offer concurrent enrollment courses.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ryan, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mindy. Any other discussion? All in favor? None opposed.
Okay, up next, we have another MOU with Arkansas State. This one isn't student related, it's our staff related. We have a lot of our faculty and staff that they do their master's degrees and specialist degrees through Arkansas State. This allows them to do their internship hours through us, so that they can get credit for that, but we have to have an MOU in place. And I believe this MOU has been for 3 years.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the MOU with Arkansas State for internships and for internships for university students.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mindy. I'll second. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
And next, in educational services, this is our final reading for policy changes. I know we had, let's see, March, April, and May. Are there any questions?
I believe not.
Nope.
Okay. With that, I would like to make a recommendation that we approve the policy changes for the 24-25 school year as presented.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah. Do we have a second? I'll second. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
All right, next is curriculum instruction. Any questions, please? I'll go to this paper. And so, but these are all renewals. There's no new curriculum being purchased. These are all renewals with our relicenses and everything. The first one is our K-8 literacy materials, and that is from Great Minds. That is the Wit and Wisdom material that we use. Are there any questions on that? With that, I'd like to make the recommendation that we purchase our K-8 literacy materials from Great Minds in the amount of $42,057.60.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mindy. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Sarah. Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? None.
Up next is our math resources. That's from Kendall Hunt, and it's known as Illustrative Math. We've been using that for, I think, 5 or 6 years in our district now. Had a lot of success with it. Are there any questions on that? On this, it is, you know, the quantities are just fine materials for kids. Okay. With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we purchase our math curriculum from Kendall Hunt in the amount of $60,760.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion? I'll motion.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
Okay, up next, we have our NWDA assessments for the 24-25 school year. This is again, a renewal. Any questions? Okay, with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we purchase our NWDA assessments and resources for the 24-25 school year in the amount of $40,367.50.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
Up next, we have our IXL Learning. It is for $21,850. Are there any questions on that? With that, I would like to make the recommendation that we purchase IXL Learning in the amount of $21,850 for the 24-25 school year.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead.
Tie. Sarah.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jessica. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed?
Up next is Amplify. Amplify is something that we have started recently and had a lot of success. This will increase our grade level band that we're using this with, but any questions?
So the initial year purchase was grade 3, 4, and now
Right.
we're doing 3, 8. Am I reading that right?
Right, incrementally over this school year, we've added up to 8th grade.
Okay.
So this quote is just for the renewal of the student workbooks. So we've purchased the kits for each grade level.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good.
And initially, we did that with ESSER funds, it says?
Yep.
And those are gone. So this is all increment, technically.
Yes, these are from our state high Oracle funds.
Any other questions? Good.
With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we purchase Amplify signs for the 24-25 school year in the amount of $63,509.18.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll
Make a
motion.
Ryan wins on that one.
I'll go second.
Second by Sarah. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed?
Up next is not a curriculum or assessment, but school status is how we notify parents, it's our communication system. We've been using it for the past couple of years and been very successful with it. I know I can probably say Mr. Travis is our biggest fan of it. And with all the phone calls that he
By
makes.
default, biggest fan?
Absolutely. Any questions?
No, I like it. I'm just, that way I get notified. It's awesome.
With that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we purchase school status for the 24-25 school year in the amount of $23,617.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Mindy, second. I'll second. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed? That is a brutal section, Keith. I'm not gonna lie. Love to combine that in some fashion, but I know we can't.
It is a big purchase for us.
I know. You guys are all welcome. That was great.
Up next is personnel. Y'all are you seeing the need for executive?
No.
I know it's a large list, but unless anybody else has got any
No.
questions,
I
what do you
really
think?
haven't. I mean,
Did you have it?
not really. I mean,
I'm
it's
good.
a lot of
We're
people,
good.
but-
We can
All
go.
right, first is approving additional staff for the 24-25 school year. We have 4 full-time positions that we're wanting to get approval for. The first one's our athletic trainer. Northwest Hospital has notified us that they cannot provide a trainer for next year. And so we're trying to bring that in-house. We have a recommendation for you tonight.
Yep.
If it's approved for the simple reason is we need to move quickly on that to get our
Sure.
kids aren't without that service and everything. It's a 225-day contract on the teacher scale with a 5% index to cover after school activities.
When does that Northwest contract end?
I believe
June?
they'll be here through that week.
Through that,
No,
okay.
until that week.
His last day is June 28th.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
with approval, we hope to have a little bit of overlap.
Sure.
To find out where we're at.
Okay.
What holes we have to go with that.
Right, okay.
And our next 3 are academic positions. One is a 3rd grade teacher, the other one is a 6th grade teacher to help us with numbers. We're not at the point of meeting the maximum class size ratio, but we're on the cusp of it. And to be honest with you, those 2 are grade levels where we see our most growth.
Sure.
6th grade in particular is where we see a lot of growth with kids transferring in and everything. And the 3rd one is an elementary assistant principal to go to a full-time assistant principal at the intermediate and a full-time assistant principal at the middle school.
All right.
Any questions? Okay. With that, I would like to make the recommendation that we add the additional staff for the 24-25 school year as presented. We'll do the staff. Okay.
As presented, all right. We got a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah, second.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
Up next, we have our program coordinators. Okay. Up next, we have our program coordinator stipends. In the past, those have been $1,400. We'd like to increase those to $3,500. This will put them in on scale with our district coordinator positions and everything for the stipends and everything, and the work that we are asking from them is substantial. So we feel that the $20,000 is more than fair. And then on the other part, our more athletic oriented, we need help running the concession stands, and to have someone who's coordinating that, and not have the band have someone coordinating athletics, having someone coordinating. And so this will allow us to pay someone that could be, have a fall concession coordinator, which will cover volleyball, football, basically. The winter, which will cover basketball, which in reality is your biggest concession. Ms. Coughlon's work concession that helped us with concession coordinator basketball's the first season. It's every day. It never stops. And in the spring, concession coordinators, baseball, softball, track, and $2,500 for the fall, $2,500 for the winter, and $1,250 for the spring. This person will be responsible for inventorying, making sure that workers are trained, being there, being responsible for making sure our concession stands running smoothly, because we do it based off of volunteers.
Right.
Not volunteers.
Do we foresee it being the same person
Yeah, that's
for
what's
all
hard.
It could
three?
be.
Okay.
It could be. But to be honest with you, the same person for all three, that's a tremendous amount of commitment for 1 year. So yes, ma'am, it could be, but it could also be three.
Okay.
How will the position be filled? Will it be a staff member, like someone who works through the school, or will it be like a parent? I was just,
We'll work with Mr. Craig, our activity
Okay.
director.
Mhm.
and, we'll be the school employees.
okay, gotcha.
We did it in a manner where it could be certified, classified, anybody within our school district.
Okay, so someone would apply, just like for any other role? Okay, okay.
Is this something that other surrounding districts do
Yeah.
as far as the stipend? And are these amounts kind of in line with that for a tremendous commitment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's working your hard as well.
Just asking.
I definitely see this as a definite need. We struggle through each season for concession stands
Right.
participants.
And please remember, this is the coordinator. This is not all the workers.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
The workers are volunteer based. All right, with that, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the stipends as presented.
All right, we have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah, second.
I'll second.
Second by Jessica. Any other questions? All in favor? None opposed.
Up next is personnel. And we have resignations to start with. I would like to make the recommendation that we accept the resignation of Joseph Pope, Lazy Hazelbaker, Mindy Ferguson, Brandy Newsom, Kimberly Lee Yates, Christy Turner, Maya Blosser, Lauren Reed, Alicia Simpson, Shay Baldwin, Brittany Cheatham, Macy Hudson, Belinda Brewer, Connie Will, Jamie Behrens, Barbara Blevins, Julie Ferguson, and Ed Vestal, with regret.
There's some long-term
know
people
it.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. You've got,
It makes me sad.
Miss Brewer is retiring. We're excited for her. Miss Quill has, she retired and she was kind enough to
Come back.
and ride the bus some more. So we really appreciate her service, because Connie is probably around 30 plus years in everything. Julie Ferguson is retiring.
Yeah.
We're excited to see her. There's definitely some big shoes to fill there. And we will have.
Retirement, May 22nd, in the arena lobby,
Okay.
around 3:45 floor.
Okay.
About 30-40 minute drop in.
To celebrate and honor their commitment to our district and to our students.
And sometimes retirees choose not to participate, so don't be surprised if you see somebody They've heard some other time, they're like not at the reception, because some people choose not to do that, so we don't make that count.
We will celebrate.
All right, we've got a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah, second. I'll second. Any other comments, questions? All right, all in favor?
All right, up next, we have employment. I'd like to make a recommendation that we offer employment to Sharice Grigg, Bryce Gilmore, Lori Jennings, Laura Vickery, Autumn Anderson, Julie Massey, Landon Wright, Brittany Cashmore, Reed Smith, Hayden
Bless you.
Sutton, Rebecca Walker, Sean Daniel, Lee Carter, Eden Miller, Hannah Martin, Donna Allen, Donna Root, and Jacob Leslie.
Is Landon Wright the one that graduated from here?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Is
saying.
it?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Tonight's son?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And I saw Reed Smith
Coach
wandered
Smith's coming
around.
back?
Yes, ma'am.
That's huge.
Yep. Well, good. Okay. Any, so that's a recommendation. Do we have any, or do we have any other comments? All right, motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mindy,
I'll second.
second by Jessica. All in favor? None opposed.
Up next, we have position changes, and I'd like to recommend the transfers of Charlie Clark, Katie Race, Courtney Woodward, and Miss Jessica Woods.
All right. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Sarah,
I'll second.
second by Ryan. Any other questions? All in favor? None
I
opposed.
started to raise my hand and then I
I know
heard
it.
these things.
The last item on the agenda is my contract, and I cannot make a recommendation for that. You know, in January, y'all previously rolling the contract over for 1 more year, and that's a reflection of, and it also contains the language appropriate for the LEARNS Act for the targets for our schools, for our school system.
Okay. So I guess I'll make the recommendation, right? I recommend that we approve Keith's contract for rollover as we discussed previously, but if there's any questions or comments or further on that, we can refresh if we need to.
No. Very happy with Keith.
Yeah. Very good job, Keith, and we're,
I can't tell you how honored I am to be able to serve in this capacity and serve our community. You know, we've grown so much over, next year will be year 27, I think, here. That's a lot of numbers, but I'm so proud of the work that we've accomplished, and I'm so excited for the work that we have to do.
I make a motion as presented.
I'll second.
all right. Second, any other questions, comments? All right. That's it, then all
Approved.
approved, yes?
And Mr. Dow, that's all I have.
I recommend we adjourn.
All right, I second. All in favor?
All.
There we go. And we are adjourned.
Michael,